Fire when ready.
Well, Corey, bye week, what have you guys gotten done this week? What do you need to get done this week?
I think it's a great opportunity to kind of get a little bit extra time to look ahead to our next opponent, get in there and start looking at some Utah State stuff, and also just get back to all the fundamentals that we need to work on. Let some of the younger guys get some reps that they hadn't been getting because they've been doing a lot of scout team stuff, and so it's been good for them to get some experience doing stuff in their actual position again.
Advantage this week, having a bye week, you think?
I think it's an advantage in a lot of ways. Yeah, I think you get to get in there and look at some film a little bit earlier. I mean, they kind of sell it to us that by the end of next week we should be so tired of looking at film that we don't want to watch anymore the rest of the year. But yeah, no, I think it's a little bit of an advantage. We get a little bit of rest as well, and so I think it helps your body and just your mind as well to kind of recoup.
And you get a chance Friday night maybe to watch that game live that they're playing. What do you like watching the game live? You don't get it's kind of rare to get a chance to see the team you're going to play next live. Have you done that much, or is there a different feeling than watching it on film when you're watching live? Or?
I think when you watch it live, you can see the tempo a little better. When you're watching it in film, each play is kind of cut up, so you never really know how quick they're really getting back on the ball and how quick they're substituting and that type of stuff. So that's kind of an advantage of watching it live, is you can see how fast they're getting on the ball, how often they sub.
And I assume,
little things.
And I assume you've already watched some of their stuff, so you kind of know what you're looking for when you're watching it live too, which has to help.
Yeah.
You guys, a group, are you getting together to watch the game at all, or just everybody on their own, or?
I'm sure people will watch it on their own. We haven't really made any plans or anything about it yet. I'm not even sure what time the game's at, but I'm sure we'll probably get together and watch it.
You got a rare Saturday off. You sit around and watch football on a Saturday that you get to, or you go do something else, or?
Me, hopefully I'll have a chance to throw some guns in the truck and go out and shoot something. do a little hunting or shoot some clay pigeons or something.
Special teams this year seems like almost across the board has been very good, very productive this year. What do you see out of that group this year?
I think that it's just a group effort. A lot of guys locking in to their role, and I think that's what special teams are all about. Is it's 11 guys trying to lock into their role, because on a kickoff return or on any of those teams, one block makes a difference, and so it's really got to be one of those things where everybody's just kind of locked in and going.
What kind of spark has that been? I mean, you saw the kickoff returns in Fresno, the blocked field goals against Southern. It seems like really kind of gotten some sparks out of that part of the game.
Yeah, I think that football is a game of momentum, and I think special teams can definitely be something that helps get that momentum going. Something like a little pooch kick we had in Fresno where we recovered the fumble, that can definitely put a little fire in everybody's spirit and kind of get everybody going again.
Why do you think special teams has been so much improved from last year as a group?
Our coaches focused a lot on it in fall camp, and I think it's always a focus of ours, and maybe we're just doing things a little bit better and locking in on our individual assignments a little better this year.
You see a lot of the young guys that are maybe making some mistakes on defense are playing on special teams and getting things done. Is it a little simpler for them out there? Maybe the assignment's not quite as complicated on the special team as it is out on defense.
Well, I think special teams is always kind of your first chance onto the field at BSU, and so I think it's one of those things. As long as you're working hard and really focusing in, it's usually kind of like, this is your job this week. Make sure you get it done. So there's not a lot of variability in each play or whatever. You kind of know beforehand what you got to get done, and it's just on you to go out there and do it.
How do you look at the defense as a whole, where you guys are at this point? And obviously, a couple rough games. You had a good game against Southern Miss going into the bye.
I think we're making improvements just like we need to. We're always coming back to kind of our motto of that compete and improve, and a constant state of improvement. Obviously, we need to keep getting better. It's one of those things where we're never going to be good enough. It's a whole season thing. We're going to try to keep improving throughout the year.
From watching the Utah State tape, what type of schemes or tactics have you seen work maybe particularly well to stop that Utah State quarterback?
They're a good offense. I think it's more than just the quarterback as well. He's a really good player. They got good backs. They've got receivers to spread you out, and they use multiple formations. And so, I think when teams go out there and try to just lock into something maybe a little bit simpler, and that way they each know their individual role and they're ready for all that shifts and motions and just that multiple sets they're going to get. Maybe that's worked a little better for them. I'm not 100% positive. We're just going to trust what our coaches tell us to do and get out there and try to do what they're telling us.
Do you guys look at the standings? Do you get an appreciation for, hey, this game's going to matter a lot in the standings, that kind of stuff, or you just go play football and let someone else count it up at the end of the day? Or
it all matters. It's important to know who's on your side of the Mountain West and all that, because obviously you're fighting to try to get into that Mountain West Championship game at the end of the year. And so we know that, but every game is equally important when we're looking at it from a game day stance.
With that being said, though, this is a pretty big game then. They're kind of the chief competitor maybe with you guys on the mountainside.
Yeah, no, this is obviously a big game. We like to treat every game as a big game, though. But yeah, this is a big one. Just like last week was the biggest game of the season, this one's our next biggest game of the season.
Are you going to be rooting for any team in particular, BYU or Utah State, that game?
No, I'm not rooting for anybody. I'm just going to be watching two future opponents.
With the bye week, is it different if you're playing football in your hometown? You have maybe more chance to get out, either spend time with the family or get away and go hunting, where if you're not playing in your hometown, you wouldn't necessarily have that opportunity?
You know, I think it is nice as far. I mean, what I like to do, Boise and Idaho is a great fit because, you know, when it's football season, I get an opportunity to spend any time, you know, being out in the outdoors and stuff. And so it's nice when I have a bye week because that's what I like to do. I like to get out there. But I know I'm going to be going out with guys that aren't from Idaho, and so I think they have the same opportunities as well. And I think everybody enjoys having that time off, even if they don't have family here. They're all just relaxing, you know, whatever they're doing, playing Xbox, watching TV. They're all hanging out, and so it's a good way to get some break, get a little relaxation time in there.
If you can go hunting, a couple of guys come with you?
Yeah, I think we're more just going to go shooting, do just a little bit of that, because that way they don't have to deal with all the licensing and all that stuff if they're out of state and whatnot.
Try to drag some of the city guys out there and show them a thing or two, or
Every once in a while, yeah, it's fun because they all want to go too. I mean, who doesn't want to go out and shoot some guns? Everybody wants to, especially if they haven't ever really been around it.
You guys good?
Well, thanks, Corey.
Cool.